Have you ever reached a point where life feels like it's collapsing around you? Where every attempt to move forward seems to push you back even further? Bills pile up, relationships fall apart, and your heart feels crushed under the weight of fear and loneliness. Today, I'm going to share with you the inspiring and emotional story of Sofia, a woman who lost nearly everything, until a single spiritual discovery transformed her life in ways she never imagined. By the end of this video, you'll discover the very same lessons that helped her turn despair into hope, scarcity into abundance, and loneliness into love. And the truth is, these lessons are available to you too, right now. So, stay with me until the very end, because the most emotional and life-changing part of Sofia's journey happens in the final minutes, and it may just shift the way you see your own life forever. Before we begin, I want you to set an intention. Write in the comments, "I am ready to receive miracles." That simple declaration sends a signal to the universe, aligning your energy with abundance. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week we share stories and teachings that can raise your vibration and transform your reality. Have you ever felt that life had taken everything from you? That no matter how much you tried, nothing made sense anymore? Sometimes, life pushes us so deeply into the darkness that we forget what the light even looks like. But it is often in those darkest nights that the seed of transformation is planted. Today, you are going to hear a story that will touch your soul. The story of Sofia, a woman who lost almost everything, until a single spiritual insight opened the door to miracles. Her story is not one of instant change or easy answers. It is the story of heartbreak, despair, and the weight of loneliness. Yet, it is also the story of courage, awakening, and the beauty that comes when someone dares to trust the universe. What happened to Sofia will not only surprise you, but may change the way you see your own life forever. Because in truth, Sofia's story is not just hers. It belongs to anyone who has ever cried in silence, feeling unseen, unwanted, forgotten. It belongs to those who have asked, "Why me? Why does life seem so unfair?" And it belongs to you if deep down, you too long to believe that miracles are still possible. By the end of this video, I'll share with you the very lessons that turned Sofia's despair into hope, and her pain into purpose. These lessons are not just concepts. They are tools you can begin to apply in your own life today. If she could shift her reality from heartbreak to fulfillment, then you can too. So stay with me until the very end, because the most emotional and powerful moment of this story only comes in the final minutes, and it may just open your heart in ways you never expected. And before we begin, take a moment to set your intention. Write in the comments, "I am ready to receive miracles." This is not just a sentence. It is a declaration, a seed of energy, a vibration that tells the universe, "I am open. I am willing. I am ready." Sofia's life was far from easy. After her divorce, she was left alone to raise her daughter, carrying not only the weight of financial difficulties but also the deep pain of rejection and loneliness. Every night, when the house was quiet and her daughter was asleep, Sofia would cry silently, hiding her tears from the world. She whispered into the dark, "Why me? Why does life seem so unfair?" Bills piled up relentlessly. Each envelope that arrived in the mail brought a wave of anxiety. The weight of survival crushed her spirit. Once confident and full of dreams, Sofia now doubted her worth. She felt invisible, overlooked by life itself. Her confidence crumbled, and every new challenge seemed to confirm her fear. Maybe she wasn't good enough. Friends seemed distant, as if her struggles made them uncomfortable. Invitations stopped coming. Opportunities never showed up. Her days were heavy, her nights long, and her heart empty. She carried the world on her shoulders, but no one seemed to notice. The silence around her loneliness was perhaps the hardest part, feeling as though no one truly cared. Maybe you too have felt this way, as if the universe itself had turned its back on you. As if no matter how hard you tried, nothing seemed to change. That heavy sense of being stuck, trapped in a cycle of pain, can feel endless. But here is the truth Sofia would soon discover. The universe had never turned away. It was always listening, always responding, waiting for her to shift her vibration. Her darkest nights were not punishment. They were preparation. They were the soil in which the seed of transformation could finally take root. And though she could not see it yet, Sofia was standing on the edge of a miracle. One morning, while scrolling aimlessly through her phone, Sofia came across a video about the law of attraction. Normally, she would have skipped it, dismissing it as just another empty promise. But that day, something in the speaker's voice held her attention. A single sentence struck her heart: "Your reality is a mirror of your inner world." Those words shook her. They echoed inside her mind long after the video ended. Could it be that all her struggles, her loneliness, her lack, were not evidence that the universe had abandoned her, but reflections of the energy she had been unconsciously projecting? She realized she had been feeding fear, anger, and despair. And life, like a perfect mirror, had reflected them back. That very night, instead of crying herself to sleep, Sofia tried something new. She took a notebook, sat on her bed, and wrote down a few simple words: "I am loved. I am worthy. I am abundant. The universe is on my side." At first, it felt strange, even fake. Her rational mind protested, "This isn't true. Look at your life." But her heart whispered, "Keep going." Night after night, she repeated the practice. And though nothing outside changed at first, something inside her began to shift. She felt a little calmer before bed. Her tears slowed. Her heart softened. The heaviness she carried began to loosen its grip, if only slightly. It was as if a tiny spark had been lit in the middle of her darkness. That spark was hope. And hope, once planted, grows. Sofia didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of her transformation. The universe was already responding, not to her old pain, but to her new willingness to believe. As days turned into weeks, Sofia noticed subtle changes. She began to smile more, sometimes without reason. She found herself laughing with her daughter in ways she hadn't in years. Gratitude became her morning ritual. She thanked the sun for rising, her daughter's laughter, the food on the table, and even the challenges, for they were teaching her resilience. Gratitude turned her mornings from heavy dread into quiet hope. Her energy shifted, and life responded. Out of nowhere, she reconnected with an old friend who had once been a source of support. This friend, almost like a divine messenger, offered her a new job opportunity. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a lifeline: steady income, kindness, and dignity. For the first time in years, Sofia felt the ground under her feet again. Slowly, she began to attract supportive people. New friendships blossomed, this time rooted not in pity, but in genuine connection. People began to see her not as a victim, but as a strong, radiant soul rediscovering her light. Even her finances, once a constant source of dread, began to stabilize. Each small improvement was a sign that she was no longer abandoned. She was being guided. But the most important transformation wasn't outside, it was inside. Sofia began to feel alive again. She realized that her happiness didn't have to wait for a perfect future. It could be felt in the present, in the small moments, in the quiet gratitude. Her inner light, once dimmed by pain, began to shine brighter. She understood something profound. The universe had never left her. It had always been waiting for her to believe, to trust, to align. And the more she trusted, the more doors opened. What once felt impossible was slowly becoming inevitable. Months passed, and Sofia's life began to reflect the inner light she had been cultivating. One of the most incredible moments came unexpectedly, when she decided to volunteer at a small community event. She hadn't gone there to look for anything, only to give, to share, to be part of something bigger than herself. But as often happens when we act from a place of love, the universe had a surprise waiting for her. At that event, she met someone who seemed to resonate with her very soul. He wasn't just another acquaintance. He was someone walking the same spiritual path, carrying the same values of kindness, authenticity, and growth. Their connection was instant, but not desperate or rushed. It was calm, natural, and deeply aligned. This was not a relationship born from fear or need, but from wholeness. For the first time since her divorce, Sofia felt what it meant to be truly seen. This new relationship blossomed into something beautiful, a partnership of trust, mutual respect, and shared dreams. Together, they encouraged each other to grow, not to fill each other's emptiness, but to expand their already awakened light. It was love not based on lack, but on abundance. Her daughter, once withdrawn and shy, began to flourish as well. Children feel the vibration of the home, and now that the energy was lighter, her daughter mirrored that shift. She laughed more, connected more, and her school performance improved. The transformation wasn't just Sofia's, it was a ripple that touched her child, her relationships, and her community. For the first time in years, Sofia felt not only safe but deeply fulfilled. She discovered something profound. Her greatest pain had been the doorway to her awakening. The universe had never punished her. It had guided her step by step, through loss and despair, back to the truth of her own power. Her story was no longer one of survival. It was one of miracles. From Sofia's journey, there are lessons that apply to every single one of us. The first is this: gratitude transforms energy. At her lowest point, when it would have been easier to drown in despair, Sofia chose gratitude. She thanked life for her daughter's laughter, for the food on her table, for the simple gift of waking up each morning. Gratitude may seem small, but it opens the heart, and an open heart attracts miracles. The second lesson is, affirmations reprogram the mind. Every night, Sofia wrote, "I am loved. I am worthy. I am abundant. The universe is on my side." At first, it felt fake. But over time, those words became truth. Affirmations are not magic spells. They are seeds planted in the subconscious. And just like seeds, with repetition and care, they grow into the reality we experience. Sofia's affirmations created a new inner story, and her outer world followed. The third lesson is this: the universe mirrors your vibration. Life did not suddenly change because Sofia begged for it. It changed because she shifted her inner energy. When she carried fear and anger, life reflected that back. But when she shifted into trust, love, and gratitude, life responded in kind. The universe is not punishing or rewarding, it is simply reflecting. And this means that the power to change lies within us, always. These lessons are not just Sofia's, they are universal truths. They apply whether you are struggling with finances, relationships, health, or purpose. They remind us that no situation is permanent, no pain is final, and no darkness lasts forever. Inside every struggle is an invitation to awaken to your true power. Sofia accepted that invitation, and so can you. If she could go from heartbreak to wholeness, from rejection to deep love, from despair to miracles, then so can you. Her story is living proof that no matter how broken you feel, the universe is always ready to rebuild you stronger than before. All it asks is your willingness to trust. If Sofia's story touched your heart, let it be more than just a story you listen to. Let it be a spark that ignites change within you. Remember, the universe is always listening. It hears your thoughts, it feels your energy, and it mirrors them back to you. What you choose to think and feel today creates the reality you will step into tomorrow. So if you are ready for miracles, take action now. Write in the comments, "I trust the universe." Don't just type it as words. Feel it as a declaration. Feel the energy shift as you align yourself with trust. That simple act plants a seed in your subconscious and sends a signal to the universe. I am ready. I am open. I believe. If this story inspired you, give this video a like, red heart, because that small click is more powerful than you think. It not only helps this message of hope reach others who are struggling right now, but it also anchors your own intention to align with positivity. Every action carries energy, and your like is an act of faith. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell, because every week we bring you new stories of spiritual awakening, manifestation, and transformation. This channel is not just about videos. It is about building a community of souls rising together, reminding each other of our divine power. By subscribing, you join that movement, that vibration of awakening. And before you go, I invite you to watch the previous video linked here on the screen and in the description below. It is another powerful story of transformation that will take your awakening even deeper. Sparkles, remember, the universe is not against you. It is guiding you, preparing you, and waiting for you to align. Your miracle is closer than you think. And just like Sofia, one day you will look back and realize, everything changed the moment I trusted.